To save on fuel costs, which type of car is the best option? Petrol, diesel or hybrid? Well, if it's purely on fuel consumption, we can end the video here. It's always the hybrid car that sips the least amount of fuel. But when we include other cost factors into the equation, such as initial purchase price, road tax and maintenance, which then is the better buy? I'm Logan from Walk. Watch this last episode in our Petrol is Expensive series to find out. In this video, let me help you decide if you should be buying a petrol, diesel or hybrid car if you want to save money over the long run. We will be comparing four main factors: initial purchase price, road tax, maintenance and fuel costs to find out which option is the most cost effective. Now first, the initial purchase price. Due to the tax structure imposed by the government, hybrid cars are almost always the more expensive option when compared to its petrol or diesel variant. There was a time in 2020 and earlier when hybrid cars were cheaper because one of the components within the VES banding doesn't apply for cars. But since January 2021, with the inclusion of the PM component, many hybrid cars have fallen a rung or completely out of the A1 and A2 bandings. Hence, they don't enjoy as much rebate as before. Well, this is another story for another video. Anyway, as for petrol or diesel, this is a little tough to compare because we haven't got any dealer selling both the petrol and diesel variant of the same car model here in Singapore. And so, the comparison wouldn't be fair. In summary, for the more mainstream cars like the Honda Shuttle and Toyota Nova, buying the petrol rather than the hybrid version would be kinder for your wallet. And likewise for bigger diesel cars such as Kia Sorento when compared to its petrol hybrid version. The second comparison is the road tax. Here, the most expensive road tax goes to the diesel car. Again, let's compare the diesel and hybrid Kia Sorento. The diesel one attracts a road tax of $2,052 a year, while the hybrid one will set you back only $739 annually. Even when we compare a diesel variant to a petrol variant of the same model, the diesel car will always pay a higher tax. The reason for this is because diesel prices are subsidized by the government here. Hence, the government would need to claw back its subsidies through some other means. In this case, the road tax. How about the road tax of petrol versus hybrid variants of the same car? Well, this really depends on the capacity or cc of the car, as hybrid cars are taxed the same as their petrol variants. For this instance, the petrol and hybrid versions of the Honda Shuttle will have the same road tax imposed on a 1.5-litre car. But for the Toyota Nova, the hybrid version has a 1.8-litre engine, and hence, the road tax is cheaper than the 2.0-litre petrol variant. Next is the maintenance. Now again, this is going to be dependent on the car model. But generally, because of the electric motor or motors in the hybrid car, the engine would work less. And in theory, maintenance costs would be lower. But if the parts need to be replaced, then it's apparent that the hybrid car will cost more to repair, especially the batteries. Now comparing the diesel and petrol variants, maintenance costs in terms of servicing, parts and labor would generally be a bit higher for the diesel, as diesel engines tend to have more parts. Also, diesel cars tend to cost more to replace in terms of the parts too. The last component is the fuel cost. Now diesel prices are almost always lower. At the time of this recording, a litre of diesel costs $3.13 as compared to a $3.38 for petrol. And when we factor in the fuel efficiency, we will see a lot more savings because diesel cars are always better in their fuel efficiency compared to their petrol cousins. A diesel car will probably get something like 20% better fuel economy compared to the petrol car. But when you compare hybrid to petrol, the differences can go up to 50% in some models, such as the Honda Shuttle for instance. So hybrid cars will almost always give you the lowest fuel cost in the long term, compared to diesel and lastly petrol. So with all the factors stacked together, which is the best? Like I mentioned towards the beginning of the video, if you are purely looking at lowest fuel cost, then you wouldn't go wrong with hybrid cars. But if you look beyond just pump prices, then yes, hybrid cars are mostly more expensive to buy at first. And especially if you don't drive a lot every year. Say your annual mileage is maybe only 10,000 km, then the petrol price difference might not offset the initial cost of the car. So how about the diesel car? Well, there's a reason you don't find many diesel variants in Singapore anymore. There used to be a time when many dealers were pushing a diesel version of their models. But because of the tax structure and rebates today, they aren't as cheap as they used to be. Aside from the fact that diesel cars tend to accelerate faster, there isn't much other benefits of owning one anymore. So my recommendation is either the hybrid or the petrol. Both should be safe choices for you. At work, we carry both versions, such as the Honda Shuttle. Both have their pros and cons as I mentioned above, but largely, for other models such as our Mercedes-Benz models, we have already made the choice for you on which is best, so we only bring in that variant for you. Okay, I hope this video have given you some new insights. Do like this video if you have learned something new. Also, please consider to subscribe to our channel and set notifications to on, so you'll not miss our future videos. We generally release a new video weekly. Anyway, until the next one, I'm Logan from Walk. Come and visit us at our Walk showroom to have a chat with us, okay?